1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we got 11 so far.
Wow, that's
So,
good, that's
yeah.
good, we'll have a nice field of people. to
We get
choose
everything in,
from.
I'm gonna call everybody back and make sure they're still interested. One called today and said he wasn't 100% sure. Said he did it to spur them on, he said, but, so, but I told him that I will call him back on, application, I'll call him back next Monday, set up appointments next week to go over with them.
I'm just gonna check with Wyatt. All right?
Yeah, we're gonna conduct interviews, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna check a couple names
Yeah,
in
if somebody they like, that said, just put your name on there.
Oh,
so
he
who
wants
you are.
to check, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Put your name on there.
Okay.
Who you are. Some people I
I didn't know we had
don't.
homework.
Yeah, me neither.
What's that?
I didn't know we had homework.
Well, if you're taking it home with you, you're taking it home with you, but it's not necessary.
Actually, that's not bad.
Just a secret ballot,
Yeah.
shall I go and seal it up?
Mine's wide open.
So they expressed an interest. I know Grant, I know Art, I know Fungu, I know Dave.
You good, you know?
So, like I said, after next Friday, I'll call everybody out on Monday, make arrangements for them to come in and meet, do interviews with them. and Go from there.
And we have to decide by our next board meeting.
We have to vote in the next
Or
board
we
meeting.
have to
Or we
have a
have to have
special
we'd
meeting.
have to have a special meeting.
Oh, so 2 weeks.
Yeah, because July 4th is the deadline.
Third or
Well,
fourth.
July 4th is the deadline.
But third's on
Obviously,
July
uh,
Fourth's
4th
a
is the
holiday, so
deadline for
July
what?
3rd.
The 45
You could have
days
it
that
probably
we
wrapped
have to
up before
fill the
next board
position.
meeting,
If
right?
we
Oh.
don't,
The
the county will.
Oh, that's right, okay, that's right.
For the
Gotcha.
Friday's deadline, 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
4:35.
so you should have it all wrapped up for
So,
next board meeting.
Had them get ahold of everybody on Monday and go from there. Okay, I did talk to Dave Hendrick. He's at the bridal shop right there at Brumby's and Dixie, and he's gonna get everybody, I called everybody on the list and had Shelley send out emails, and the response was poor. Dave got ahold of me, he says by Wednesday this week, he'll have everybody committed to a date and a time.
Property owners?
Yeah, for the property owners, just so we can sit down and meet, so,
Sure.
yeah. And then if it doesn't, then I said, whatever ones wanna meet, we meet, and that's it, so. That's, on the horizon.
Good, Jerry Sidak approached me about that problem. Jerry, it would be good for you because you could block all the businesses off, so we're gonna offer it to the businesses first.
He's got enough to take care of already.
No, you're right, but it would cause, and I'm thinking, he's thinking, oh, I'll get some extra parking over here, but
No.
it's not fair for the businesses. I just told him, you know, you call the supervisor off if you want, but I can tell you, I couldn't go for that.
Every once in a while, I have to call him and tell him there's cars parked up there. I love that year and model, but you got neighbors that don't, so.
Yeah, he really was.
You need to move it, so. So anyways, he said by Wednesday this week, he'll have everybody set up, ready to go. And, well, the meeting set up, back over that with them, and lot combinations done.
Oh, good job.
Lot
Gary.
combinations all done. Well, Paula did that, I suggested.
Well, you remembered to ask
She
her, so
processed
good
it,
job,
and
Gary.
it's a done deal. She's right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, she, yeah.
Paula's right on, just, you know, so Gary Dover said today, I sent her something, he said, figure in a week, 10 days, that afternoon I had it back. He said,
Good.
she's on it, yep.
That's good.
So, yep, yep,
Good job.
yep, so she's getting the stuff done there. And, yeah, so that's the two things I had on my radar was that, like I said, as I get more applications in, by the end of the week, I'll let you guys know how many more we got, who they are, so names you recognize, or anybody you suggest. And then, so you know, in the interviews, I'm trying to keep the politics out of it. I'm interested in the person and their commitment to the municipality. So that's what's important. So it's political right up till the day after the election, and after that, it's you're representative of every individual and business owner in the community. It has nothing to do with politics, so. That's where that'll be at, so. Okay, Sue, you have anything?
Yeah, actually I have. This past week, there's been a guy working opposite block from where I live with a chainsaw. They cut down trees, they've been cutting them up all week long. And it's kind of like, you know, the sound of summer and the buzzing from the chainsaws. But all of a sudden it came to me, wait a minute, that's a chainsaw. So I went to this guy and I complimented him how good he was at using his chainsaw. And I asked him if he would be interested in helping us clear the deadfall from the river.
Oh,
And he said, oh, where's this? And I told him, you know, Crescent Lake Road in 59. And he said, well, and I said, we have a kayak, you could set it on, and your chainsaw on, and we would work our way down the river and just have a team. You cut it and we would move it off to the side. And so he said, yeah. Yeah, he said, but I don't live around here. He was at his brother's house.
oh,
But he's willing, I think, to do it. So I've got to call into Stacy St. James. There's a lot of rules.
yeah,
Once you start messing around with the waters of the state, there's a lot of rules. I think that you cannot cut the wood and take it away. What you can do is cut the wood and then move it to follow the flow of the river and put it against the side, but you can't take it away.
did she do her group, her kayak group?
No, because there's
It
no
was
way to
too-
get through.
yes, she was saying that she was worried
There's
that they
no way to
would.
get through right now, so, I don't know.
What about dropping the wood chips from the chainsaw into the river?
Oh, no, I don't think we can put anything into the river.
No, but he's talking about the sawings that come off of that.
Oh, you mean the
The
sawdust?
sawdust,
The
yeah.
sawdust. Well, so that's why I have a call into Stacy to make sure what we can do and what we can't. And if this is possible, boy, it'd be great to get that river cleared out because there's too many choke points now. Nobody's going down the river. So then I'd need to find a team of, you know, half a dozen people, waiters, beer and pizza at the end, if anybody's interested.
Sponsor.
We got Mark, he can bring his machete.
Oh my gosh, he has, you know, he's getting great stories working down there.
Yeah, I heard about Fox, he
Oh,
recently moved.
yeah, 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 it was a fun one. He was so excited when he came home to tell us that story.
So anyway, this is maybe a possibility to get that cleared up, so I should have more information. This just happened over the weekend. So I should have more information by our next work session, just to keep you in the loop. And meanwhile, you know, maybe you don't wanna go into the river with waders and start hauling logs around, but maybe you know somebody who might be interested in helping out. Somebody who does kayak, that's
Yeah,
young
I'll
and
check the neighborhood.
strong and whatnot, so that's,
Yeah, Stacy would probably know people. She has that
and
really.
yeah,
good
she's
group
got the
of
whole list of
kayakers,
people who
right,
do, so they might come out as well.
Right.
So I'll have some more information about
Allison
that.
posted too on the airport, Elizabeth Lake and Airport, where they put in kayaks at.
Yeah,
'Cause they
Well, that's
actually
news
look-
site there.
Yeah,
there is
she
there
could,
there's
she
a
could
notice
post
board
something there if
Yeah.
people want.
didn't our dispatch
adopted
group
that,
just
yeah.
adopted that, went down and restained all the buildings and cleaned everything up.
There's a thought, maybe dispatch and some
Yeah.
of their younger members, family members might be willing to help too. So anyway, once I've got the whole story and I know what we can do, what we can't do, I'll start
Okay.
reaching out to all these, different groups and see if we can't put a team together, and then I'll get ahold of this guy and he doesn't seem to have anything to do on the weekends but cut his brother's wood, so he can come and help us.
It's like, patrol, Michigan Association of Police Officers, they adopted Shell Park there a couple of years ago. Last year they worked over at Optimus Park. You know, fixing up, painting, doing stuff that they do. They replaced all the bed boards on the picnic tables. You know, it's nice to have people give back to the community.
Yeah, and you know, you get a group of people together and they can make such a difference in a day.
In
It's
short
really
order,
kind
yeah.
of remarkable what can get accomplished.
You know, so you say, look at Earth Day, look at the Riverwalk thing, it's like you get a small group of people together and like next thing you got 35, 40 yards of garbage picked up. But on the river there, you got a big pile of it for DPW, come over and chip it up and stuff. There's a lot of, it's amazing how much nicer it looks, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Kiwanis Club adopted the Drayton Plains Nature Center I don't know if
Yes.
there'd be a tie-in there, because we see a lot of kayakers come through the nature center going that way.
Oh, so,
But again, that's blocked too now.
Yeah, I tell you, you wanna see a bad spot in the river, it's right across from the funeral home on Pontiac Lake Road. You pull out there and you look down the river, and it's just it's a maze of timbers all across the river, so.
well, yeah, and even before then, right after Buffalo Wild Wings, you see a few things falling down. So it's, you know, a good stretch of it, but then you get further down the river and there are no trees, it's all.
It's
like
open and-
wet.
It is. Well, I'd say something too, when we were 10 years old, we put right below the dam at the fish hatchery right behind our house there. And my buddy's dad picked us up over on Cooley Lake Road.
Okay.
We had a 10-foot pram the whole distance of the river there. I remember telling my buddy though, when we got over, I said, we got almost be to Lake St. Clair. We weren't in Waterford Township yet. As a
We're almost
10-year-old
in
kid.
Cass Lake.
You know, you think,
Right.
we're almost close to, we'd have gotten to Cass Lake, I'd have thought we were at St. Clair.
Okay, there you go.
But I didn't know when to hurt me, but I think, you know, we were all day to get to there on the Cliff River. You get back behind between Crest Lake Road and 59, and that river does this back to there, it winds back
That's
and
what,
forth.
I haven't done it, but I've heard that, and you think you're
Yeah.
ignored.
Yep, every
Oh,
place,
yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, every bend in the river was another big fishing hole, you know, it's, yeah, that was quite an experience, but now you look at that, it's just, there's stuff everywhere. It's just, especially down to the nature center, there's
Yeah.
a lot of timber and big trees.
Well, wouldn't it be nice to go from the nature center all the way?
Well,
to
people
Cass
do
Lake?
that, because we'll see them when we're walking
Yes.
down there, and they'll have to portage part of the way, because it
They
gets
do.
shallow. But that's why I'm wondering if we could fit in with the Kiwanis somehow.
So if you're standing on Crescent Lake Road facing north, you can see a lot of blockage right there to the right.
Mhm.
That'd be east,
Yep.
the east part.
Yep.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
See, years ago, those rearing ponds down there, they were all active. That river had full water in it all the time. You know, the upper river fed the ponds and discharged and became another Y. It was all, they met back together, all one depth there, so that was.
Well, sometimes that river is so high it's over the sidewalk under
Yeah.
59, and other times the little sandbars are showing.
Right.
So it's all that
But
dam
it's- but I'm
control.
saying, but years ago, that was before 1963, Oakland County, when they built the new bridge over there, they built the new dam. That's when the
Yeah.
Water Resource Commission, or Oakland County Drain Commission back then took over the lake level of that.
But they don't seem to use much logic. They let it get so deep that the sidewalks cover it up and then so
There we go.
shallow that it's all sandbars under there, so.
I remember they used to do it, I can remember this in the early spring before the ice went out of the lakes, they'd dam it up there and they'd dam it up over at Andersonville in 59, because we had fish hangs on Moon Lake and on Van Norman Lake, and then you go out to the fish hang, you could see over the roof of it because there was a foot of water up on the ice and froze back in, so it just, that was not productive, so. We out there spudding and chopping and knock holes in the side of the shanty, my dad would lose his mind. Now we gotta fix that thing. But it just, so they used to raise up for the thaw, for the big thaw in the spring, you know, they'd raise that up, so downstream, because you're gonna pick up a lot of water coming down out of there. Like, the good old days. Fond memories of the Drayton Plains Fish Hatchery, now nature center.
So then I thought maybe we should fill everybody in on the status of the senior transportation.
Yeah, with what we've got,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. So we met with the school district and the deal sounded so good in the beginning. We would take on the bus drivers and pay them what the school district was paying them, which was like $9.95 an hour.
$10.12 an hour.
Oh, okay, $10.12 an hour. We wouldn't have to pay the 38% legacy costs that they have to pay on every employee to the state for the, the unfunded liability of
Retirement fund, yeah,
everybody's,
state retirement fund.
even part-time people, everybody, 38%. New hires, old hires, they have to pay 38%. Well, if they work for us as part-time people, we wouldn't have any. So that sounded real good. So Gary reached out to Human Resources. And Human Resources said, well, we have the maximum number of non-union part-time people that we can have. It's a ratio to full-time. Full-time or union part-time.
Union part-time.
Union part-time.
Yeah, the
So-
union, non-union part-time was at the max, so anybody we hired would have to be union
Yeah,
part-time.
so union part-time, we have to pay them $15 an hour. So there goes the 38% savings that we would have.
And then a little bit.
And then some, sure. So that plan did
Well, how many bus drivers and how many hours?
Five.
Four.
Four?
4.
How many hours a week?
Average 16 to 24, so it's an average of 20 a week.
But the program loses a round number of $50,000 a year. Now to pay them more, it's just gonna lose more money, you know? So we kind of left the meeting where they were going back to the drawing board to see, I mean, nobody knows the program better than them. So they're going back to the drawing board, they're gonna see what they can come up with, if anything, and they will let us know, set up another meeting date.
Yep, yep.
But, so right now, there's still no answer, but it sounds like they are willing to continue the service, not cut it off like they originally were talking about. They did ask for their $40,000 payment. And I guess we're trying to translate the request. What
Yep.
does that mean? Fiscal year, whose fiscal year? Our fiscal year that ends December 31st?
Which is a calendar year.
Or theirs, which ends July
June 30th.
1st, June 30th. Okay.
July 1 to June 30 is their fiscal year. So what we talked about, they talked about at least taking it to the end of this calendar year, which would be mid-fiscal year for them. That gets us through budget season. If we are able to do it, we can see at budget time what we've got, yes or no. And then they talked also that they may even be able to extend it to the end of their fiscal year, June 30 of 2019. So that being said, but again, like the numbers we looked at originally, if we had a union position, part-time, that was at that number and stuff, yes, it would have saved them. You know, would have saved them money, but we've taken all the, you know, the revenues we have coming in for it, on the rides and everything, and it's still, it's a less number than what they have for a deficit. They get a deficit of $51,680, I think is what their annual
So
deficit
what's this
is.
$40,000 for?
Well, every year we get community credits.
No, $40,000 a township, we just give them, we write
Oh,
them a
that's
check
ours.
for $40,000 on the
Okay.
general fund budget.
It was 100 though,
Give to who?
We budget
the school
It's
district
budgeted
for
every
the
year.
summer program.
And what do they use it for?
transportation.
Transportation, smart bus transportation.
Yeah.
Take seniors.
It was in the plan, it was in the budget.
So we give us
discussion.
40,000, but we still have to hire the part-time bus driver?
So, no,
This
you're
is
into
prior
that.
to,
That
no, no,
plan
no,
is
this
up
is
in
prior
smoke.
to.
Okay.
This is what is, it's set up right now, not what we're doing, you know what I'm saying? But the bus driver's wages for them was like 46,000 something, so, you know, like I said, if we took the 40 back and everything was the same, it would still cost us 6,000 to have them, but put the 38% back in, because Social Security, that's a wash. So that would have been a savings for us in a perfect world, it would have. But no, in the past, and then there's 71,000 community credits comes from.
Community credits is, yeah,
Yeah.
71.
70,526. Yeah.
Is that through SMART?
No,
Yes.
that's through transportation from SMART, from the federal government, yeah. So-
They give the check to us, and we give the money to the school district,
Okay.
and it's used for transportation.
In the past, we gave 50,000 of that to them, and then kept 20,526 for the township for the bus services at the Waterford Golden Age Club. But
Day trips.
for day trips and stuff, you know, not the trips where they go to the airport and fly overseas or go on cruises, but day trips, where they go to different museums around the state and stuff for that. And that would be, if we took that away, that'd end up being about $16 a person per trip extra.
Yeah.
For the amount of people they
Yeah.
got going on it. But at the same time, we could use the whole extra 20,526 towards the Smart Bus program, which is, you know, essential needs. It does this for people who do not have transportation, people who are physically handicapped, and to keep the program going. And then there was one other thing that we got that was a little over $5,000 too. 50
Oh, special services.
Special services,
Special
5,800 and some odd
From
dollars.
Smart also.
From Smart also,
Yeah.
that went to that program, so. But you put all those numbers together and 18,000, no, 12,000, what did they raise? 18,000 in bus fares.
Fares,
$3 each way, $6 round trip.
but it costs $21,
But they only charge
To provide.
They
18.
charge 6,
yeah.
3 and 3, 6.
Oh, but they made 18,000 in bus fare.
18,000 was what they received in bus fares last year,
Okay.
yes.
But it costs
18,000.
more than that to provide the ride, so it's a subsidized service. But getting back to what Gary was saying, we give this $20,000 to the rec center for the seniors' day trips. And I had a conversation about that's with Allison, and the Golden Age Club is aware that this is a possibility that they might lose that subsidy and it would go up $16. And even though you're talking getting to the grocery store and getting to the doctor and buying your medicine versus going to the casino, they're pissed. And so we'll hear that, not that that's a reason not to do it, because you gotta look at the priorities. But then Allison made a point, if you take this $20,000 away, and then further, you reduce the money that the general fund gives to Parks and Rec, that's really a substantial hit to Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
So that's something for us to think about. Do we want to reduce, if we take the 20, if it comes to that, if we
Right.
take the 20, would we consider not reducing
Then any further.
that money that we were, slowly weaning them off the general fund,
But
It was kind of a point.
the 20 that we would take from them would be the
Smart
money,
money.
right?
Right.
And that would reduce the trips, because some people
And
wouldn't
it's
do
really,
it.
that's what I'm saying, is that the only program that would really be affected by that?
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's
Would
it.
be,
It's
just
just
be
a day
that,
pass.
okay.
Yeah.
That's it. And again, we did talk at budget time last year when we were talking. Eventually, this $25,000 a year is, as property values go up, price, we take that back. It's a wash there. But again, like I said, that's, we take 20,526 back. Maybe this year, maybe we take as much as we can take out of that, because, with 2% raises for employees over the last 3 years, and the costs are
Gas
going
going
up
up.
and everything, maintenance on vehicles, although they did get a new vehicle, but maintenance on vehicle stuff, as expenses go up, you know what I'm saying? And Allison's done a phenomenal job managing her money over there at Parks and Rec. In fact, she was able to save enough fund balance to pay cash for a truck, And that's, 26, 27,000, whatever it was, but still, she was able to set enough money aside where we don't have to finance that and pay interest on it. And that's worth something right there. So she's done a real good job with that. But again, at budget time, we talked last year, and eventually, we went from 300,000 down to 225,000, it's 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, so this year, maybe that's as far back as we can lean that for the time being, so. But that's something to consider. Again, that's at budget time, we'll look at that. That's why we need this to at least carry to the end of this calendar year, the middle of their fiscal year. And then we'll have solid numbers by then. And we can look at that, so.
So maybe you could talk a little bit about Rick Hamill's plan.
Yeah, they got out in Highland Township, they're talking to Commerce Township, Milford Township, Village of Milford, or City of Milford, whatever it is. White Lake. Was there one other one besides that? Seemed like there was.
Seems like it.
Was it Wixom? Did he talk to Wixom?
Wall Rick?
Wall Lake?
Maybe it was
Yeah, Wall Lake or Wixom, he talked to them, like getting this, and, and having Waterford and stuff, because, I say, like, the flow through from different communities, you people going from there to White Lake or from Waterford out there, and so you get people on bus routes, it take a while to lay it out. But he's got a gal working out there that she is, it's just like, to her, this is like,
Fun.
a walk in the park. This is her, this is what she's good at, you know what I'm saying? And you're talking to her, she said, we can do this, 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 and this, like she was laying it out in her head already. But getting more municipalities together, get a bigger bang from your buck. And like I said, one driver who's now is running 4 or 5 routes with, 4 or 5 people route, he might be able to run 4 or 5 routes with 10 or 12 people route. But as you go to other municipalities, you pick people up and drop them as you go, and then pick them back up on the way back. So it sounds like it could be a good program. But again, we have to get people committed to come in and make it happen. And I think, in the long run, that's probably what you're gonna see. This RTA is not gonna do absolutely anything for this for us, nothing whatsoever. And what Brooks Patterson and, what's his name? Mark Hackle, what they were talking about there at their last press conference there, if you take that same amount of money, that 1.5 mils that's gonna go towards RTA, and put it toward local transit, we could have a Cadillac system in place, right across the board, But again, like I said, if you can get down to Pontiac and get on the bus, then bing, 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 you can get anywhere. But if you got people without transportation, and you got people who are physically disabled, that's not gonna happen, it isn't, so. And they don't have any, there's, it stops at Pontiac, it comes no farther north than that, that's it, so. we're west of there, you know, everybody's up, so it just, and again, the biggest contributor to that program is gonna be Oakland County. That's gonna be the biggest contributor to the program, you know, dollars and cents wise. The four counties in the city of Detroit, that's gonna be the biggest contributor is Oakland County, so.
Rick's concern was that this RTA will pass because it's, you know, it's, everybody is counted. Waterford isn't counted as a discrete thing, are you in
No.
or you're out. All the votes are added up, and if the majority say yes,
Majority vote.
we're in.
But it can't go on the ballot unless 100% of the board approves it to go on the ballot, and Brooks is one of them.
Well,
I think it's 100%.
That's
I
what
don't-
RTA told us when they were there.
It's 100%.
That 100% of the board.
100%
of the board.
opt-in or, yeah, in
Yeah.
paper, yeah.
And from his
I thought it was
last
100%,
conversation,
yeah.
he was not gonna opt in.
It's
Well,
half
so,
was
to,
either.
I'll
So,
continue
yeah.
just to make Rick's point, however, if this thing does, for whatever reason, get on the ballot and pass, if we have something put together where we'll get our fair share of that money because we have cooperative, where we're already working together and they'll just give us the money to continue it, we shouldn't have to subsidize it any further above and beyond what our residents are already paying with the 1.5 mils. But at least we get the money, you know, rather than, oh, we'll hold it. Remember what they said at the meeting? Oh, we'll hold it for
Until you
you,
need-
and when you're ready,
Yeah.
you'll get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but again, they talked about that, we were gonna pay in
And there
like,
was, it's recession proof
we were
too, for
gonna pay in
them.
like 3,600,000 and we would get 3,200,000 back. Well,
Right.
and then another thing they said, well, you know, you're gonna get 102% back, you know, so every dollar you pay in, you're gonna get $1.02 back. Well, sorry, things don't work that way, not in the world of reality, in the world of distorted
You did a good
reality,
job
yeah, it works
trying to
like
call them
that.
on.
But I'm just saying, they said, okay, but just like you said, I want to invest some of my personal money in this too, because I'm not getting better than 2% in any of my investments
Right.
anyway, so
Yeah.
I'll put some of
Well,
my
you know-
pension system into this, you can pay me 2% on that too while we're at it.
But they said, oh, well, this extra money's gonna come from grants and all this other stuff. Well, what, are they working for free? They have gotta take some money from this
Right.
pot too. So that was just a ludicrous thing to say.
Well, again, and again, wasn't accusing of being a liar, but this is what the reality of this, you can say one thing, but how does it lay out? And until you have a plan in place, like I said, we're running a $190,000 program right now, and this is gonna generate $3.6 billion, I think. See,
How would we even
one,
spend that,
two-
you know? How would
Yeah,
we
it won't be
even spend
probably about 3.18 million it's gonna generate. It's gonna generate 3.18 million, and we only need 190,000 to take care of what we got. Let's say, just say we double that, say 400,000. Where's the rest of it go? Well, we're gonna put it in the bank for you there, and then when you need it,
Well,
we are
maybe we
gonna
could,
need
maybe
it.
we could fix sidewalks, that's non-motorized transportation.
But I'm saying, the reality of it is, it just, that's going somewhere else. It's not, they're not gonna keep that for us. You know, it's gonna be an annual amount of money generated there. You don't use it, you lose it.
It'll be
believe.
allocated every year.
Right.
It'll just be allocated every year. And if
So-
we can't use it, somebody else will get it.
So you wonder, are people gonna create, and like I said, the kids and I went to Comerica Park Saturday night, and I saw no less than 25 smart buses down there, just nonstop, just running. I'm not talking trolley, because I'm talking smart buses. Just one right after another, after another, after another come up. We went, took Woodward all the way down and Woodward all the way back, and just constant smart buses running down through there.
So the smart bus would pick people up at the
Big smart
DIA,
buses.
and then they wouldn't pick anybody up again until they got to Jefferson. That was the deal with DDOT. So now can they stop at the parks where they stop?
Well, they have that fast track,
Then they've got
True
these,
the black one.
they've got
No,
these
it's
elevated,
smart, and
down
it runs
Woodward there, as you
from
got downtown,
Pontiac.
they got these
Like a
elevated
queue
platforms that you stand on, and you know, like you walk
That's the
down
queue
it.
line?
And then you go, and then you're on them, and that's where the buses
That's
stop.
what I thought.
Were they
There's-
black? Because the black smart buses are black and they say fast on them.
Right.
And they're for all the way from Pontiac down to
Yeah,
Detroit, and they're
yeah.
supposed to have
Most
fewer
of them said-
stops.
Most of them said fast on it, yes.
Okay, then that's new. This year they
Yeah.
just started those.
Oh,
So
these
they are
buses, they
picking
aren't
up.
even dirty yet.
They're picking up in Pontiac, and I've seen them on Woodward, because I see them
I
stop,
saw
and
them
I'm
all the
like,
way
how
up, yeah.
can these be fast? And when I asked Madonna about it from Smart, she said they make like half the amount of stops
Right.
that the normal Smart bus
Yep.
does, so you're big, it's the fastest.
And
way
they
to
said they got 20 stops, so they got 5 buses for 4 different stops. You know, so just rather than the same stop.
Right.
This one's
is
got
the
4, that
red
one's
one,
got
this
4,
is the
that
blue
one's
one,
got
this is
4.
the green one, depending on where you wanna get off,
Exactly.
pick your color.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I saw no less than 25 of them just running up and down Woodward, just nonstop, so.
You remember when you started to see them? Were they in Pontiac or were they?
Yeah, all the way down Woodward, yep,
From Pontiac
Yep.
on, okay.
yep. Yep, I saw them all the way down to the,
So back to the school board, have they given any kind of a date for the senior center?
What about the
I
senior?
thought they were gonna close it.
no,
Well, you know, they
Not-
are
not yet.
easing out of the senior business. They're easing out. So, you know, they got rid of the foods, Forgotten Harvest, they got rid of Focus Hope. They are no longer doing the senior health fair because they've moved early learning in there and there's no room. And bit by bit, they're gonna take, you know, I think just literally a bit at a time. Okay, you can't have this room anymore because we need it for early learning, so this program is gone. And so I don't think they have a date where it's dead, but they're just, as they bring more and more programs into the building, fewer and fewer areas will be left for seniors.
right.
Do you know where those services moved?
Focus Hope went to Oakland Hope over
okay,
there by the
Telegram.
mall.
Yeah.
And
Which is moving.
who
It is,
Who
was it?
took Forgotten Harvest? I can't even think.
I think they both went over there.
Oh, they took both of
They'll
them?
put it all.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Both
And where's
went over
Oakland
there,
Hope?
They're moving over to Walton and Baldwin supermarket over there.
Oakland Hope is.
Oh,
Out of the
yeah,
mall.
that empty, that was
There's a supermarket over there, two Italian guys own it.
Okay.
There's some
Atlas?
negotiation right now. They don't have the money to buy it right now, but there's somebody that Chaldean guy's interested in buying it and doing a long-term lease with them.
Oh,
And that's the old Atlas market over there?
Is it the Atlas one? I just,
Yeah.
Baldwin, Walton, I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
So
It's
it
just
used
two
to be a
Italian
Yeah, it would be in
guys.
the southeast corner of the
But it was
intersection.
Atlas
Yes.
before that.
Yeah.
Was it? I just
Yeah.
remember being a
Was that
VG.
Ryan's? Wasn't it
And
Ryan's?
It
Jones
was
was
Ryan's
thinking
for
about
like
I like
6
Ryan's.
Talking
months.
about buying it.
Didn't make it,
He
yeah.
said,
Okay.
I just heard that last week.
And one other thing, on the four bus driver wages, they also had a clerical / dispatcher in there. So what I took was 11 different people that had a position similar to that in Waterford. That was a full-time person. And I took that and just divided it by 11, come up with an average wage, factored in 2%, because the raises go through from the contract negotiation, I'm assuming 2% for 2019. And then, of course, that person, I figured health, dental, optical, you know, the benefits that were related to that job. No, this is a full-time position. Clerical dispatch, full-time, yep. Because they have one person that does that over there too. They had another part-time person that filled in, but they let that person go, they laid him off, so, to save money, so.
So that consortium though with Highland and everything, that young woman you were talking about, she was dispatched for
Yes.
Highland and
Yes,
she, you know, she was just prepared to take it all on.
well, if it becomes a consortium, she won't be dispatching anymore. She'll be managing the whole, she'll be the project manager for the whole program.
Okay.
I believe, I mean, you only wear so many hats, so I gotta believe if she takes that on, she's not gonna be able to manage all the programs,
No.
set up the routes and stuff, and that's, but you know,
Maybe
she
way
can be a
too
route
much.
manager, yeah, but as far as the dispatching it too, yeah, because you're gonna have a ton. But if you figure $6 round trip with 6 times 318, that's gonna be 3,000, roughly 3,000 rides a year is what. If the 18,000 they said they're getting, $6 round trip, okay, that's gonna be about 3,000 rides a year.
Okay.
The current system is closed on government holidays. When the school district has a snow day, it's closed on snow days. But it is open through the summertime, you know, school's closed down for 3 months, but that doesn't, but for government holidays, like Thanksgiving Day and, you know, 4th of July,
Federal
and
holidays.
Memorial Day, yes, the holidays that fall during the week, I mean, like, then they're Monday through Friday, it's not weekends, so. And then, like I said, then you got coordination of appointments and stuff, because originally, they were 5 days a week, then they went Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then they came back with one driver on Tuesday and Thursday, and they had, you know, coordinate with doctor's appointments and stuff, because people had always gone to their doctors on Tuesdays or Thursdays. Now it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday for, you know, 2 buses, and
It sounds like a good idea, a very good idea.
It
There's
is.
a lot of work getting this thing up and running though.
well, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something we should think about very seriously about opting in.
Well, we recognize we have to do something.
Right,
We can't
right.
let this go away.
Right.
Lou Farino, our HR director really feels that there's more to this, and we need to study it more carefully. They look at their numbers a whole different way than we do, and it's a little hard for us to translate.
Highland looks at numbers? 'Cause
No,
No,
it's the
school
school
district.
district.
Oh, the school,
The
okay.
school districts, you know, they just approach it so differently, that we're having a little trouble following it, I think is what it is. And we ask them questions that they don't seem to be able to answer because we're looking at everything so differently. So, and Lou feels like there's hidden costs here that we have yet to have shown to us. And we wanna be sure before we take this on, we don't wanna be surprised with another
Yeah, I'd rather be 20
$50,000 bill.
Yeah, I'd
at
rather
the end.
figure 20,000 over than 20,000 under for sure. But again, they said, all the numbers they gave us charts and they had it broken down, you know, what transportation was, you know, Meals on Wheels, they have it all broken out in different columns and going down through what it costs are. Federal money, state money, all that stuff off their charts. And then I said, I took the numbers I got from them, crunched them from our end, what the cost would be, the numbers I got from Lou, and what it was figured out for a full-time person that would be clerical. But they got a line in their office supply, $17,968, okay, but what is that? Well, it's up, and then for mechanical stuff was $68.83, $6,883, and that's just lube and
Everything's
oil change
cheaper
and
than
stuff, that's
office
nothing,
supplies.
that's just mechanical, it's
Okay.
maintenance, nothing mechanical.
So the office line item's more than the maintenance?
Yeah,
Oh,
but like I
that
said, but that's
makes a lot of sense.
computers and telephones and all that stuff, so, okay,
Oh, that
but
must just be.
let's say you start
Radio,
adding that
cell
stuff up,
phone,
yeah, so it's
yeah.
office expense, not office
I'm
supplies.
thinking of paper,
Right,
pens,
yeah.
and
No.
colors for
But
the
I'm just saying,
copier.
so you look at that, but you're trying to sort this stuff out as you go, and then try and get an idea, well, what would it be in our, and not knowing,
Yeah,
because you know anything more to go on than those numbers they had, so you use their numbers, hedging figure, it might be at least that much, so you use those numbers, and then just, I put a 2% multiplier on both of those numbers
Yeah.
too, just so as you carry into the next year. Did talk to DPW via email and phone. Next meeting we have, they'll sit in it, and there's something they feel they can take on. Of course, you have to have state certified mechanics to work on these vehicles, which our guys are state certified at different tiers, but obviously our lead mechanics there. Smart does like to get 10 years out of their vehicles, so,
oh,
you know, I'm assuming the maintenance towards the tail end.
well, that's a
They
lot.
currently have 3 buses right now, they always have 2 on the road, and they always have 1 in the shop, so.
Well, we're running the heck out of them too.
Well, we have a new one coming, there's a new one coming, so, and there's no cost, the bus comes to you, it's free of charge. But from that point on, you're responsible for the insurance, the maintenance, everything else, so it's probably a plus in the end. But, you know,
Oh, and on the subject of that bus, it is, you have to apply for the grant to get the bus, and it takes 3 years?
so 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5
3 to
years
5 years.
for them to process their request. So 5 years into a bus, you've got to
Start
apply
applying
for
now.
the grant
To get the next
to
one.
get it,
Right.
by the time the 10 years is up on the vehicle. So there's a little grant writing involved too, and.
There's a lot of hidden costs that we don't
Well,
even
that,
aware
yeah,
of.
they said
I mean,
every,
there's like, you
yeah,
just keep pulling stuff up, so.
So then the school district has somebody that writes for that grant.
what's that?
The school district has somebody that writes for that grant.
Right,
I could be part of the negotiation maybe.
yeah, it's
But
possible.
they keep, I mean, if they already know how to write the grant and they've written for it, how many
And would they
years?
train our drivers? They're training bus drivers all the time, would they train
Yeah.
our drivers? Because they have to be trained to
Yeah.
drive buses, right?
And if we can inherit, we can also have the opportunity to inherit their drivers too, we can take their drivers on.
Yeah, but as new drivers come,
Right.
old
We send them
drivers
to their
leave,
school.
we're not gonna train them, and if they would do it free, you know, they're training.
They're doing it anyway, yeah.
And drivers are not just drivers, they help people get on and off the bus,
Yeah.
people with walkers, people with
Wheelchairs.
canes, crutches, wheelchairs, they help them out with that too, and it, basically, it's a, you know, a front door curb service, it is.
Are those buses equipped here with lifts on all
Yeah.
of them? All of them are
Lifts.
equipped with,
Yep, they all have lifts, yep.
then you gotta push them in there and lock them down?
Yep,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Gary, and those members, was insurance in there too? How much insurance for the vehicles?
We're to MMRMA. Lou was looking into that to see what, if we had any answer back from them on the MMRMA, but.
Maybe
what
that
the
was part of
insurance
office supply.
factor, what the insurance factor would be.
I hope so.
But I
If,
don't know
if
what the
Smart
insurance
gives us the
factor
bus every 10 years, what do we do with it after 10 years? We give it back to them?
No, we don't own the bus.
We don't
own the bus,
own
that's
the
So, then do they insure it? If we don't
It's
own
like
it?
a
That's
lease.
what
You
Lou
lease
was
a
looking
car,
into.
you.
Okay,
you
that's
pay
what
the
I'm
insurance.
wondering.
Right.
Okay,
That's what Lou was looking into from MMR, making sure
Okay.
it's all insured, so, yeah.
okay.
So anyway, that's,
Well, that sounds like a good program, I mean, but there's so much stuff to be
So
worked
many-
out
Right.
before,
so many moving parts.
yes.
That's the only thing we had going right now, and had to deal, and I could absorb
Well, you know,
myself in
I
that,
mean,
but it just.
I think it'd be a great idea, consolidating the village of the community, working with them.
Right,
But there's just so many hidden moving parts that we, a lot of things we don't know. And
you know,
bottom line, what's it gonna cost us? When it comes down to.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, what's it gonna cost us?
We've gotta know
Can we
going in.
afford it?
that's what we have to find out, and there was a grant out there, but that was a startup grant.
Yeah,
it was a-
planning.
It was a
Only for
planning
planning.
startup
For planning
grant,
it?
so.
Well, that helps.
We already have a program in place, so we did, they, within 3 or 4 hours, they send it back, so you guys don't qualify, you already have a program in place, so. But if you were just starting up, because like some of the
But we
municipalities that
don't,
Rick's
the
working
school
with.
district does.
No,
Okay.
the Smart Plus programs in the name of Waterford Township, it's not in the name of the school
School
district.
district, okay.
Yeah, because we get the funding
Well,
and
Highland
transfer to the
could
school
do it.
district, so. But the ones that don't have it, you understand, like, I'm assuming Walled Lake, the village in Milford stuff, that they could get that 60,000 grant.
Now, would we be partnering with other school districts like Waldwick Consolidated?
No, I believe we're probably.
The only school district?
Any other smart bus system I see goes through a municipality, not through
Right.
the school.
Oh, really?
district.
Okay.
So we
Asking
would partner with
questions.
these municipalities.
Municipalities, right.
Yeah,
I didn't know if the school districts were involved with that.
No, the way that started out originally, number one, for senior center, I truly believe the school district had a vacant building to accommodate the senior center.
Okay.
That's how that started up
Yeah.
45 years ago. The smart bus program, originally, the school district oversaw the distribution of funds and the payment and stuff, and they eventually absorbed it, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't their program, they oversaw the program, and eventually, somehow they ended up with it. They're not sure because it was far enough back and anybody
Yeah.
there wasn't involved, but, they're trying to look at that, but, that's 33 years bus programs in place, senior centers in place 45 years, so,
What's a bus cost? Do you have any idea what one of those buses cost?
no,
I guess
How many passengers on the smart buses?
I have no idea.
on those little buses,
You know,
probably
that
about
was
15.
one of the
maybe
problems.
15.
You can't make any profit because it doesn't hold enough people. There's no way ever.
Well, then, and if
to
you got
cover
88
costs.
people in wheelchairs,
Right.
you
Well,
have
that's
room
true,
for
you
less
take up
people.
more
Right.
people, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, but I said you'd have to break even, just to break even, you'd have to, but the amount of routes they got right now, you'd have to charge $21 per person. So $10.50 each way, so. And it's at 3, so if you took it from 3 to 4 or 3 to 5, just say you took it, so till you took it to $4 each way, that's $2, that's another $6,000. 3,000 rides, $2, that's another $6,000, so you go from 18 to 24,000, but it's still, it might cut your deficit by 15 or 20%. But what
Yeah,
you'd have to
okay.
charge people, you know what I'm saying, to offset the cost, it would be unaffordable.
Currently, what's the charge?
$3 each way.
Any complaints by the seniors on that?
I haven't heard any yet. Nope, I didn't ask anybody. I haven't had a chance. So other than the school district, I haven't talked to anybody.
Because I know this lady across the street, her mother was living with her for a number of years, and Smart came to her front door.
Oh, yeah.
Like 3 days a week.
Yep, no, they do.
If you have fixed routes in your municipality,
Right.
they will give you that door-to-door, curb-to-curb service, whatever you call
Yeah.
it. Not door-to-door, they would take you from your door to a bus stop,
Mm.
if you have fixed routes.
Yeah.
Well, remember I asked that question at the
Right.
meeting, and we don't have fixed routes, we don't get that.
But I think they picked her up and they took her to the doctor's office.
Yeah,
So
they-
that would be a special service thing.
Yeah.
Like
But
we had 5,000.
That was probably about 5 years ago.
Well, there's a lot of
she passed
things like
away.
Worry-Free Transportation that does that kind of stuff, private companies. My question is, I'm not familiar with this stuff, so help me out here. Say I got a doctor's appointment at 10 o'clock in the morning in White Lake. Well, we got a bus full of people. They drop me off, do they come back and pick me up at a certain time, or?
Yep, yep.
And I think you have to call ahead.
Do you, okay, that's what I'm at.
Well, it's
That's
just,
from what I understood from the meeting with everybody talking, that they call ahead and they make their
it's just,
reservation.
you make your reservation,
Yeah.
schedule your
Or get a
appointment, and you
reservation.
get dropped
Right.
off at the doctor's office
Yeah.
there, and you're gonna be there an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes later, they're to pick you up.
Okay.
And there's limited seats, so
Right.
you book early.
Right.
Call
you know,
ahead.
that-
Yeah, no, you have to schedule your appointments for a ride per se too. you know. And then there's days, I think there's probably the day they go to Myers. But you guys,
Okay.
Myers, we're going to Myers 10 o'clock Friday morning, okay?
We'll be there for
10
that.
o'clock Friday morning, you go to Myers shopping, okay? And then when everybody's done shopping at Myers, they're back in the vehicle, you take them back and
Okay.
drop them off. Or you're gonna go to Rite Aid, or you're gonna go, you're
Right.
gonna go to Walmart,
I fill your
wherever
prescription
you're
out
gonna
with
go.
CVS, whatever,
Yep.
okay, I get that now, okay.
Yep, so that's how they do that. There's certain days that they designate vehicles for that do that, so.
Okay. I mean, like my doctor's office, I get a 10 o'clock appointment, I don't see this guy till 11:15.
Right.
Then I'm in there at 12:30,
You're right.
you know, and I say, hey, I'll be an hour and a half, so how do you know?
Well, they know how it works.
Okay.
Somehow or other, they,
Yeah,
They know at lunchtime the doctor's gonna go, so.
and
I try to
maybe the
do
doctors
10.
know they're on this ride
Yeah.
and they've gotta be done by
And
X.
you just tell
so
the
they-
doctor you run 3 hours over, so give me $3 to give me the.
Well, they try that, they try
On the way out the
to,
office.
in my doctor's office, if you miss your appointment, it's a $40
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, I get there, but doctor can't see you, they had an emergency.
Oh, $40.
Hey, guess what,
credit.
he owes me some money, huh?
Right.
We gotta talk to doctors, I talk to the doctor, and he go, we'll talk about that whenever it happens.
That's how I used to tell my.
His English got real broken when I asked him that question.
So I told my doctor, you think doctors charge a lot of money? Well, they should, but carpenters charge. Never did send him a bill.
So one other thing, I met with the school district down instead of Gary, because he had a previous commitment with Michigan Works, which also is handled by the school district, and they're closing the Waterford Michigan Works office.
Where's that at, Sue?
Well, it was
Waterford
in Waterford Village.
Waterford Village.
They're closing that building, and so Michigan Works is saying, well, maybe we don't need it. They were going to close White Lake in a couple of years, and, I mean, the unemployment rate is so low that really its role has reversed, and now
Right.
employers are coming in saying, find me workers, instead of workers saying, find me a job. So they were gonna close White Lake anyway, so they think what they're gonna do is just go ahead and close Waterford, leave White Lake. All the customers that they still have, there's a Pontiac location. So if the people in Waterford will be served, they've got either place,
Right.
either
Right.
White Lake or Pontiac, but the Waterford one will close. They did offer it to us, we could take this on and it pays for itself, you know, you just have to write the grants and do the billing to the
There's
federal
that.
government and,
Piece of cake.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
it's
they're
real
cutting,
simple.
but yeah, they're cutting back and cutting back and cutting back, because like I said, the unemployment rate should be 0. For the amount of people are looking for help, can't hire anybody, I mean, but it's
Right.
still,
Well, that's the problem, right now, there's more jobs available than people
Right.
are looking for work.
right.
Well,
That's great news.
you know, instead of Michigan Works, we need to have what you want, skilled trades schools.
I'm
Because
still
that's
working
what
on
people
That's
that.
are
what the
looking for,
shortage,
they
yeah.
want people who have a skill, and that's totally,
Yeah, but you can hire on with a construction company right out of high school and get paid and get trained at the same time. I taught a whole bunch of people carpenter work over the years that way, just they come right out of school. It's nice that they're at school so they know a hammer, which end of the nail goes into the wood, which end of the nail yet, you know, stuff like that. But now it's a nail gun, you don't have to know about a hand drive nail. But again, like I said, it's skilled, skilled trades courses are good up to a certain point. But at the same time, I'm saying that they're not gonna get, they're gonna get you in the door a little above entry level wage. That's a plus in itself, so. But again, there's a need for it, and the trades are screaming for help. They just
I
are.
know.
They're screaming for help, so. Okay, anything else from you, Sue? You covered all the basic food groups and,
well, we're just, kind of holding with the architect.
yep, I got the email from you with the picture there that was on the website.
Yeah, that was nothing to do with him, incidentally.
No.
I found a picture of this beautiful building, porte cochere coming out to drive underneath, and it said Waterford Community Center.
Not it.
It's probably Waterford, Connecticut or someplace.
Right, as we get
Oh my
confused.
gosh, this is like,
Yeah.
so perfect.
Right. Yes, not us, but it's.
You know, strangely, we're still going through paperwork with the architects, so we sent 2 invoices, we haven't paid one of them yet, because we don't have all the paperwork in order, but he's still plugging away theoretically to finish this job. So, more on that later, so that's all I got, thanks.
When you started talking about chainsaws earlier, I was a little concerned that we were gonna have like the Waterford Chainsaw Massacre movie, you know, because I didn't know, so
They're
it's.
filming
Yeah.
Chainsaw Massacre 12 here
I'm
in
glad,
Washington.
glad we're cutting on blowdowns out of the river, that's good. Margaret,
Nothing.
Karen,
I don't have anything.
Steve?
Well, the only thing I know is it's that time of year again, starting last Thursday night around 10 o'clock, these idiots over in the other neighborhood, fireworks, I mean loud fireworks. I mean, I have my front door, I have a Dutch door, I have the front door open, it's nice, there's a breeze coming. My poor dog levitated off the ottoman when that thing went off and just shot right into the kitchen. But next time it happened 2 nights in a row, right around the same time. And I hear it again, I'm gonna get my car, I'm gonna drive it, because I roughly
Do
know
a
where it's
citizen's
coming
arrest.
from. Because Scott Underwood said, get an address,
Yeah,
and then they'll
that's true.
send somebody out.
Yeah.
Nothing they can do, they gotta literally see them light the
I was
fire.
You
gonna
guys-
say,
you
that
guys see
happens
this?
Trust me, I've been
out
through
late.
this, especially on that Hillcliff Street there.
Well, you know, if they'll go and just ask about it, you know, maybe that'll tone it down a little bit, maybe they'll.
Maybe I should take a loud one and take it over and throw it back in there.
No, you do it about 4 or 5 in the morning when you're waking up and they're sleeping
And
still
they're
drunk.
still sleeping because they've been up all
Yeah.
night, that's a good
So
idea.
they-
Yeah, they'll wake up, their heads will really hurt,
Yeah.
really hurt.
You know, I do have a question, thinking about that.
You didn't have anything.
I know, but now
You
this
got
made me,
something.
now this made me think of it. And
Make
it's,
up my mind.
it's petty, but, so you know, I live right behind Cooley School.
Yeah.
And the kids, neighborhood kids go over there and play. And we've noticed every night, there are kids vaping on the swing sets
How old are they?
and smoking dope. They're teenagers. And I don't know, I'm like, you can't call the police, I mean, they're
Why
not.
not?
But they're smoking dope. you
Yeah.
can call the police.
Or vaping.
Well, my son
Yeah, they're not
and his
supposed to
friend
be
were over
quiet.
there and they got asked if they wanted to take
They
a hit
should
off.
have back
I'm
there.
like, are you kidding me? They shouldn't, on an elementary school playground in a neighborhood?
You did notify the school district to let them know?
No,
what's
that's my question. Do I call the police or do I call the school district? But the school district's cutting
They're
back
not
on
gonna do
everything. I mean, they
They
don't
don't
have
have
security.
security.
So I'm like, I don't know if there's
Call the
anything we
police.
can do.
Well,
Kids
call
are
the
smoking
police, call
dope
the
on
police.
school property, just say that.
You
Call
the police.
dispatch, say kids are out there smoking dope.
Put a sign over there saying, under surveillance with cameras.
That's what
See if they can read
That's
it.
what I know, that's what I thought of doing.
Yeah.
Surveillance, too
district
many
for-
syllables.
Selling the property.
So I'll go back there just to be, making it comfortable for them sometimes.
I just call the police every time I see them back there, just say.
Yeah, you know, you could become a target if you start wandering over there. And they're gonna start
Pick your
egging your
What
car.
is it? That's-
Teenagers,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that's what you.
Teenagers.
Just the-
I'm not
Call the
driving
police.
over there, I can walk over there.
But they'll-
I don't have my vicious 20-pound dog with me anymore.
It reminds me,
Killer? I don't know.
He died.
on Friday
He
night,
died?
it's probably about 9 o'clock, I was
So you're
again
going
at
back,
my
we put
front
a
door,
whole
put
weekend down.
stairs up.
I didn't know, I'm sorry to hear that.
So I went out, I took the dog out, the smell was smoking. As soon as I got outside, it smelled like somebody was having a party with about 150 people and they're all smoking weed, because I know what it smells like.
Right.
This was strong. And I asked a couple of the other neighbors and they said, oh yeah, they smelled it too. I mean, it's like,
Now, we do have an ordinance for smell. It's not an ordinance for smell, but you can call odor, yes, you can call them that.
offensive odor.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the other thing too, these burn permits, everybody, not everybody, a lot of people get the burn permits and they're supposed to only if they're wood. They're burning their leaves, they're burning their papers, they're.
Call the fire department, they'll come out on that, they'll come out.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, they
because they're
will.
doing it at night.
Just look
Doesn't
them up.
matter.
24/7.
24/7.
Remember, we employ them for 24 hours
That's
service.
a full time garage.
They're not part-timers.
Nope.
Two more little petty things too. Number one is, does the township basically monitor vehicles that are carrying long items out the back with no red flags?
No.
They don't do that anymore?
They don't monitor it, but if they observe it, they can pull them over
They
and
can
ticket
ticket
them
for
for
it.
not
I
having
see
a
an
flag.
awful lot of them with no flags on the back. crazy. And then the last one is blacked out windows.
Cars,
Front, side,
You
entire
know, I
car.
got that
I
in
see
my
the
car.
entire car blacked out.
I've seen that too, and I wondered if the law.
There is an ordinance.
There seems to be.
No,
I
it's
see
illegal.
there's a state law, it's not an ordinance, it's a state law.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
if you get pulled over, they'll make them scratch it off.
You know, maybe you take it off there, or you get a
Right.
ticket. And I got 10 windows. So we-
No, I had somebody cut me
All of
off and he was
them?
in a black
Drivers?
No,
A black
both, yeah,
car.
not everything but the
Passenger.
front.
Everything with the front,
Not the
well, you're
windshield.
one of those offenders. What's
Yeah.
your car make?
Well, I got the doctor excuse for my eyes.
I thought you could have them all done with the front.
You can't do the two, the officer has to be able to see you when he approaches the
Oh,
driver's
I
seat.
Right.
see. Okay.
So if I,
That makes
whenever
sense.
I get pulled over, when I do get pulled over, what my windows, I put both hands on my steering wheel, so I'll show you a loaded weapon in my car,
So watch out.
and then,
Show your seat.
no, you have to do that.
No, I know
Because
that.
they already know that, because my license plate, you know,
Right.
I'm already red flagged or whatever you wanna
Right.
call it,
CPO.
for my CPO.
So the assumption is anybody in the back seat wouldn't have the
No, you're
temerity
right.
to shoot a cop.
Michigan law says you gotta have it, the driver, the passenger front have to be so
Clear.
much percent, no, not
Right.
clear, certain percentages, like 30%, I don't really know how you gauge that stuff. I think mine's just a
Because I
little.
am on CPL, but I never carry. I could, but I've never been told I have to do that, but they didn't know that.
You should have, you should have learned that when you went to the class, the training.
I just kind of.
That's the first thing you gotta tell them. I got a ticket, well, I didn't get a ticket, I got pulled over one, about 10 years ago, I dropped my wife off at the airport, they had a radar sting there. I got pulled over, went 10 over, and I did the same thing, rolled the window down, told the cop, I said, I got 2 loaded handguns in here. Took my license, registration, ran it, I came back and goes, thanks for the heads up and let me go.
Oh, well,
That
there you
was
go,
Romulus
for being a
Police,
good
and they were-
citizen. Okay.
Yeah, but you're supposed to do that. You
Right.
gotta let them know, 'cause they know that.
So if you don't
I know,
have,
I
you say,
would
I
know.
don't have my I don't have my weapon in the vehicle car.
Well, you don't have to tell, if you don't have your weapon, a loaded weapon in your car, you won't have to say nothing.
Oh, well, I never.
Because they just wanna know, you know,
Oh.
that's the
well,
first
then
thing
I'm
you should
good.
say.
But you got to have a license plate that basically.
no, they run my driver's,
Your driver's
my license
Oh,
plate,
oh.
it's already tagged,
Okay,
flagged.
gotcha.
That you have
The
one.
state already done that, so.
Yeah, they tell you when you go to the CPL class, it's wise to tell the police officer
Yes,
before
I did
you go
know
to
that,
the
but I
CPL.
didn't know, 'cause
Because
I
if
never
you're
carry
not
one.
telling him, it's
So if I don't carry
not,
one,
could be
I'll
for a
tell him.
reason.
That's
No,
right.
you don't
Yeah,
really have to,
that
if
was
you're
it,
not
okay.
carrying, but
That's
if you
right.
have one, it's very
Right.
smart to,
Well, yes,
you
but no,
know,
I don't, okay.
and they appreciate it if you have a state listed like a CPL, but I don't have nothing with me.
Right, because I have my license.
What can I do for you today? Start blinking your eyes and say,
Or cry, that works.
or cry.
Yeah,
I gotta go pee, I gotta go to the bathroom, please.
Whip up
Go
a few
ahead.
tears, yeah, that's, it's just what we.
My wife's.
I think that would work for me and you.
you.
I gotta go to the bathroom, come on. Sure they never heard that before.
Yeah.
The best one, always the best one, is you can pass gas just when they come up to the window. Say, dude, I'm driving fast for a reason, yeah. Be on your way.
Do that on call,
Be
yeah.
on your way.
Make your license
Not
good.
gonna hold you up any longer, be on your way.
Goodbye,
Yep.
have a nice ride. Make it to your destination safely.
And quickly.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Anybody else have any?
I went to a school board meeting last Thursday night, and I went there as representative youth assistant, said Grant Smith wrote a letter to the school board, because they're doing their budget. I think the school board declined to match our $7,500 a year. I heard good things from John Hemsbaugh, Ron Petruccia too, said, you know,
Have they supported them in the past?
well, they used to get 15,000 a year, and I don't know how many years ago they cut it, just cut
Oh,
it
so
right
they
down.
hadn't gotten anything from them?
No, we're the only ones that
Oh,
contribute
they were
to
given-
their,
okay.
to youth
Oh,
assistance.
that's good news then.
They got a fund balance of like $6.3 million, and they wanna spend, which was, you know, they.
Who's got a fund balance of that?
School
School
district.
The school district has that kind of fund balance?
For $100 million budget, that's 6.3.
But they were just overstaffed
About
with that kind
25%
of
of the
money.
townships.
They thought it was the greatest thing in the world, you know, Joan Sutherland goes, don't we hear clapping? Thinking like, so I looked at Grant Smith, like, you gonna spend this? What's the matter with us saving it?
Right, right.
But anyways, I think they're inclined to give us give youth assistant, $7,500. We'll see next meeting, when they
Right.
finalize their budget.
Good, that's good.
So I thought that was a good thing, you know, it was a breakthrough. Bob Pickett and John Paul Torres texted me that day, please come there and speak on our, you know, on youth
Right.
assistant behalf. Because at our meetings, I've been complaining to Bob for months, I'm like, God, township's been giving us $7,500 a year, we give them free rent, the only thing they pay for is phone service, which hasn't been working for them, the phone service, but, you know, the township has done everything we can. These are your, you know,
They're treating
they're your
people
kids, for God's sake, you
yeah.
know? So I think it's only fair that you guys pitch in like we are. We don't wanna see this program go away or be cut back, and
Right,
there's a lot of good benefits, it's really helped a lot of kids.
right.
You know, and you know, my wife works a youth assistant, and she gets all the referrals from Oakland County from all different school officers.
Right.
And she said, my God, you know, Waterford especially, she goes, I'm getting a lot of kids smoking weed and just a
Vaping.
lot of stuff like that, you know. And it's not Waterford, but West Bloomfield, but she always tells me Waterford because I'm a youth assistant there. So the numbers are going up all the time, so, you know, it's important that youth assistance steps in, and when an officer needs a referral to a counselor, they have the kids on, so.
Right.
Anyways, I just wanna say that I think $7,500 will help them to do some type of mentor plus, or take them on, they used to go on summer vacations, you know, for a week or so, take them on camp,
Oh,
summer camp, so.
okay,
You know, some of these kids never been out of Pontiac or Waterford.
right.
You know, to go up to a farm for a week or something's a big thing. I know when I was a kid, who was St. Vincent de Paul, well, back in like late fifties, my mom didn't have a lot of money, but the church took us up to Alpena, to a camp up there. I still remember that to this day,
Yeah.
you know, Vincent St. Paul camp, so I think it's something that kids do remember, and it's a good thing.
Good program. Yeah.
That is good stuff. yeah.
One thing, I just wanna ask one thing, are we anywhere closer to a trash hauling, single trash?
I had a woman call me today, and she said, who's licensed? She says, who's licensed to haul trash in Waterford? I said, well, you know, right now, we don't license them, but I can give you the names of people who are working in Waterford right now. And she says, well, I used to have Smith, and now it's been bought by Advance, and I paid the year in advance, and now they're charging me this fuel surcharge, they're calling it.
Fuel charge.
So she said, I want to find somebody else. So I gave her the names of the people that collect in Waterford, and then I said, but be aware that the township board is considering going with a single trash hauler. So if you do sign with somebody else, don't sign a loan contract.
All right.
Just so you won't be in a position where you have to ask for your money back. And she said, oh, I would be in favor of that. So there are lots of people out there who are happy to hear that.
I've been hearing a lot of complaints, emails and phone calls about Advance, picking up only 8 bags of compost. The fuel surcharge and all the other extra charges. They're not happy with Advance right now. I said, well, you know what, as it is right now, you got a choice. Find another trash hauler, so.
So has everybody turned in the ordinance with your suggested changes on it that I passed out to you all?
I didn't, you know, Steve just showed me, and I can't remember.
You did give that to us. I didn't, but I based my questionnaire on that. Do you want me to mark that up too? Everything I
Was that the
did was
questionnaire?
referred to
Well,
that.
at the same time I gave you the questionnaire, I gave everybody
Right,
West
yeah,
Bloomfield's
I turned that
ordinance,
in.
and I said,
Okay.
mark it up and tell me what.
Yeah, I got West
Did I
Bloomfield
mark it
ordinance
up?
here.
No, I got the questionnaire from you.
Right.
Do you have the questionnaire still?
Mhm.
Kind of a question about, because that's all I know.
Or you want, what, you want to be consistent?
Well, I already kind of did the work, so just. You can get it to me after the meeting.
Okay. Oh, no, here it is, right.
Gary, I wanted to tell you on the way to the meeting tonight, and this is factual too, that on the radio, they stated that the Detroit Public Schools suspended 16,000 students in last calendar year's school. Based on, well, drug use, fights, a myriad of things. I just can't remember all of them, but 16,000. I didn't know there were that many students in Detroit.
I didn't either.
It's,
Maybe it was all of them.
Or maybe one student suspended
Oh, well,
multiple
true.
times,
Could be
is that
multiple.
discrete
One
students,
student
or-
got
It's
suspended
true.
5 times.
16,000 suspensions is what he's saying. Already got
Yeah, so it might be,
16,000 suspensions.
you know, it could be.
Typically, once you get more than 2 or 3 years out for the year, I don't think they.
I know it's Detroit school. We're lucky to get people to show up.
I'll bring this back to you by Wednesday, I'll drop it off at your office.
Okay, that's good. So,
I did that thing right over yeah, I did that one handed back. I'll go over this one, hand it to you by Wednesday, I'll drop it off.
all right, good, good. So, you know, we're just kind of plodding along
Okay,
with that and everything else that's.
No, that's fine. A lot of them moving forward somewhat, I mean, it's a slow pace, but at least we're doing something instead of staying.
So once we get these marked up, then what?
So what I'll do is sit down, I guess, and compile all the changes into the one that we have and send it on to Dovery. I
Maybe we should
suppose.
have a workshop and just talk about it.
Okay, have a
And then we
workshop.
can
Do a review,
Yeah.
once we get it, do it. Last thing, when the attorney went on everything the way we want it. and
Yes.
have it drafted
For,
according
yeah,
to
because
us.
we don't want him saying, oh, give it back to me after you answer all these questions.
Right, so we'll do it first and then give it to
And he
them.
was involved in the West Bloomfield's original ordinance.
Yeah, he wrote
Which is
that
what we're using.
ordinance.
What's that?
That's what we're using.
Yeah.
Aren't we, we're using.
Well,
charges.
Steve Kaplan's got some, he's an
Oddities in
attorney
there.
and he's got some changes in there too, so. Like I say, Gary was in on the original draft, so he knows what it was.
Right,
And then we get to tell what we want, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what their bidding process is compared to what our bidding
Right.
process is.
right.
You know, what we'll have is a fiscal year, will it be a calendar year, et cetera, et cetera,
Right.
et cetera. We can do quarterly, biannual, annually, you know.
That's in here, yeah.
Right, but I'm just saying, there's a lot of, it isn't just something you just say yes today and tomorrow it's in place. There's a lot to it, there is. There is, so they said, look it over, and they said, just the changes you want, you don't like, but you do like, what you think's necessary, what isn't.
We'll bring it back to a workshop and discuss it
Yep.
as a team and just go from there.
Yep.
And draft something up and give it to Dover in today.
Yeah.
Looks good to us.
Yeah.
And to start out at the beginning of the next board meeting, we got to amend the agenda to go into closed session afterwards. Something came up this morning,
So,
Oh, okay.
so.
2 items or just 1 item?
One. So, that'll be that. Anybody else have anything?
No?
Sue, anything coming up on election commission prior to
Keep
the
it marked.
Well,
primary?
Carrie is preparing the list of election inspectors. And that is something that the election commission has to approve, the list of election inspectors. We've already approved the proofs of the ballot, sent it back in, and I believe they're on their way to the printer now. I think I've told you all the goal is to have the ballots up into this month. We do
Absentee?
have to have them, overseas ballots out the 23rd, but they're not paper ballots, they're emails, so that's okay. But, yeah, I'll let you know, maybe just, it's a quick approval of a list of names, so maybe before our work session, we'll
Sure,
do that.
yeah, we'll do that.
I think Donna's typically available then, so.
She stayed on.
Yeah, she did, I needed a Democrat desperately, so
Right.
she's good. She said she'd stay on.
Okey doke.
Okay, so we have a few minutes